This is Necrobuster, and I found that is, it gets called a political band.
Observation of what I see in others.
When you go camping, you get to see the Milky Way galaxy.
Punk rock like attitude too. We're just gonna try to, gross you out with our music.
Yo, what's up? This is John from Noise Dosage Media, bringing you some of the most innovative and unique extreme metal musicians on air to have an in-depth conversation about things you probably didn't know until now. Before we unravel this episode, we want to bring attention to our driving force of visual creativity. Begrudgingly Benny creates one-of-a-kind creatures that you can't find anywhere else but below. His focus is on old-school style, slimy stippling that is budget-friendly for all bands or tattoo desires. Stay updated on the sludge by following at begrudgingly_Benny on Instagram. Wither Designs raises the dead with pen and ink and gives them new life with acidic color. Withered is eager to accompany your next album, merchandise, or zine with new, kick-ass, necromantic artwork. Keep up with the Horde by following him at withered_designs on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and let's dive into this.
So I want to first start off by saying, like, holy hell, like, the new album is so good. Like, and I'm not just saying that, like, it is, like, really good. And the drums, like, come through the mix, like, crazy.
Thank you so much. It's very nice to hear this, especially because we went for a more organic album kind of sound. So it's really nice to hear that the drums like came out nicely.
Well, I just feel like nowadays, especially in death metal, the drums get kind of the organic part is kind of lost, in my opinion. Sometimes the triggers are a little bit too much, but like the new album, it's like very it sounds like a real drummer, like behind the kit.
Oh, that's so cool to hear. And yeah, I mean, and I have nothing against people that prefer to put more trigger sounding things and stuff like that. It depends on the style of the drummer, but I really like the fact that I might sound live the same way as in studio,
Right. Yeah, because like there's some YouTube videos of like playthroughs and stuff, and it sounds like almost like identical. But,
those were actually I'm happy to hear this, but those were like I just recorded the image and we put the studio sound on top because I don't have mics, so it sounds like shit if I don't use the studio track.
No, yeah. You're good. So with the band, like it's kind of been weird because like there was Nervosa, and then there was like a period where we were questioning what you were gonna do, and I saw the logo and I was like, what is this? And I kind of looked deeper into it, and I was like, somebody like that I know did this logo, and like I'm just kind of curious on how you guys were like, let's get Lord of Logos to make Crypta's like image,
It's well, since I started playing music with my first band, I was still learning how to play blast beats and stuff like that, really learning. The first guy that I heard about that made logos, of course, was Lord of Logos, because I think he's the most known one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the dude. And then first time I heard of him, when I was very young with my first band, I sent him an email asking for the price, how it would be, like the average price for making a logo. I thought it would be way too expensive for me since he was famous and so on. And actually, he's the cheapest dude that exists that draws logos for people. It's insane. It's so cheap. It's actually kind of unbelievable when he sends prices. It's so cheap. I don't know if he changes because he's making for a logo for someone in Brazil, or if it's different for Europe and United States and stuff like that. But for us, it was always very cheap to make with him. So since I started to play, I made my first band's logo with him. And then I made a logo for him with him for another band from the area that I played with in studio, and then now with Crypta and some other projects too that like I needed him to tell me if he could do something here and there, and he just does because he's so cheap and so fast, and he's the best. Like I think I will never make logos with anyone else.
Right. And like I remember seeing that logo in specific. I didn't know anything about the project that was to come, and I'm like, I gotta hit this guy up. Like his quotes, man. These logos are looking crazy good. But I gotta buy his book. I gotta buy his book of logos because I've been meaning to like read it and check it out.
Yeah, me too. And he's so fast. The guy is unbelievable, honestly. It's the best professional.
Right. So going to like the studio and stuff, I'm kind of curious. So I'm not a drummer, but I'm a guitar player and stuff. And I'm just curious as to, like when pulling sounds in the studio, what are you looking for in specific within like the mix for like acoustics and stuff like that?
I found out a lot in studio what I wanted to hear from myself. Like I came there with an idea, and because all the albums that I recorded, I had a single idea for what I wanted to sound like, and then I never could accomplish that. And then with Crypta, I came with the same idea as always that I always wanted to accomplish, and it ended up that it didn't quite work for me. I thought that I would like, for example, on drums specifically, a more deep sounding snare, something more low than to the high aspect of it, and stuff like that. And then we tried some low tuning snares, and it just sounds so bad. At least for me, like how can I say this? Sorry for my English, by the way. Sometimes I just get really.
You're all right. No, you're good.
Some bands that I listen to that have this very low tuned snare, but then it didn't work for me. It sounded very odd with the rest of the mix, maybe because I used the rest of the kit kind of high, so it just didn't match. But we kind of found out in the way, testing many tunes in the tones and for the kick and for the snare. The only thing that I really knew that I wanted, and I was still asking in the future albums, is that we don't use triggers or samplers afterwards and this kind of technology. Not that I have anything against this, as I said. I always like to clarify it because some people think that I'm those trigger haters. They're trigger is cheating and stuff like that. And it's not this. I'm not that person. I just myself prefer to not have it and sound just like I would sound if someone was standing in front of the drum kit,
Right.
And this was, and it was basically that for the drum kit. But for the rest of the band, it was very similar. Everyone kind of wanted to just put the microphone and record, and then,
Right on. Yeah, I mean, like, it's weird because I feel like there's a mixture of people that I've talked to where they go into the studio and they're either like, how do I put this? They're very either narrow-minded and they don't really let the engineer do a lot of it, or they have, the how do I put this? Yeah, like you either go into the studio and you have a really, really tight vision, or you go in and you have a loose vision and it turns out amazing. You know what I mean? Like there's two different ways. I don't know. Death metal for sure. I feel like that is something.
I thought I had a tighter vision when I went to studio. But then as soon as I started to test stuff, I was just like, I think I do not understand about this.
Right.
I wanted my snare to echo a lot, Is this right in English? Echo? Like echo a lot?
Right.
Like lots of delay, I think. Those very deep and snares from old school recordings and stuff. And then it just sounds like shit when you blast beat like that,
Right.
And
Right.
then but I actually think that for the next album, for the drums at least, I will come with no requests at all because I don't know anymore. It's just better to get there and see what people think.
Right. And I feel like with okay, guitar you just put in a quiet room and it works, but I feel like drums is a little bit more complicated because like it's really dependent on the room. I feel like you could have $1 million microphones, but if you're in a crappy room, you know, it's all
Yeah,
over.
yeah. We had a gladly very big and very nice room. We recorded in one of the best like studios of São Paulo, which is a gigantic city in Brazil.
Mhm.
We not that we have not that we could have that in the first album because our budget is not like as gigantic as the studio, we'll say.
Mhm.
But we are friends with the owners of the studio and they kind of support us a lot, so they made like a very special price for us so we could record in there. But I'm glad that we had this gigantic room to record in because one thing that I also requested and that gladly worked on the album is the delays on the tones to make them sound very deep and very,
Right, right, right.
yeah,
I
very
got like
big.
a morbid angel type vibe off the toms for sure. Because they tend to do that where it's like very it kind of sounds like a chant. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like it they just yeah, they're deep, very deep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, I all I thought when I went there was about one band called Anthropomorphia or Anthropomorphia in English maybe. But oh, I love those drums so much. I even asked the vocalist once where they were mixing the drums and how they were doing because I wanted to sound exactly like they sound like.
Yeah.
At least I think at least for the tones I got my accomplishment. My thing was done. I could sound like I imagined, and it worked. It wasn't odd.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I feel like I mean I've definitely heard some records where the toms they just don't make it through the mix because maybe it was just like in a little tiny room, and that's definitely a good point.
Yeah, I had times where we sampled the tones afterwards, because yeah, we just wanted to make it more clear in the end result, and we decided to kind of mix with sampling, and it just I don't like it for myself. I don't know how to play and add samples afterwards. I think it always sounds so weird with me. I see that it works for many people, and I can tell that there's sampling done, but with me it always sounded very very robotic. I don't know why, but I always feel like it's too right. Maybe I don't play too right. That's the thing. And then when you sample with some sample, put samples on top of it, it sounds kind of too right, and then it just all goes down. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
all goes down. So
I
so
I,
this
don't- I have my theories.
this is a this could be a big or a small question for you. With Crypta like just starting, to get momentum going here. Are there any like bucket list things that you want to check off with this project?
Oh yeah, there's many. Since Crypta became our main band now, our main works and everything like that, our priorities in life, I would say. Basically every big festival that plays metal, we have on our bucket list. We could confirm on Wacken this year. I mean, not gonna play this year, but we confirmed this year to play next year. And we wish to play in Rock in Rio, and wish to go back to Brutal Assault, but with Crypta and Summer Breeze, and we never played in Hellfest, not even with Nervosa, so that's one that we for sure want to play someday. Stuff like that, and of course to record a new album as soon as we can. But yeah, stuff like that. I think not very weird dreams for Ben.
There you go. Are you so it sounds like you're huge into like festivals. Um what about like intimate shows, like small bars, like I don't know, like 150 people? Like would you are those your favorite shows? Because I've heard some people they either love them or they hate them.
Oh yeah, I heard this too. Many bands that I like comment that they don't like festivals. I think it's insane to not like festivals. Like it's so good, the catering and stuff. Like, come on,
Right.
it's so
Well,
you
well,
get there
I feel
free
like
food all day long.
yeah, but sometimes the bands like Exodus, they did like a documentary and they basically said that like they play the festivals all the time and then they enjoy the more intimate shows more, like the smaller venues, the really small ones.
Yeah, I
Um,
really enjoy both the same, and I think my band does too. It's like you said, the small ones are more intimate, and you have more eye contact, let's say, with people in front of the crowd, and you interact more with them, and it's kind of just one big energy going on in there with the crowd and the band playing. It's kind of the same thing going on together, and it's easier to, I would say, because, well, it's intimate, it's small, you just get your stuff done in the stage, and it's very easy to make it work. But festivals are great. I love them. You get to meet, first of all, many of the bands that you like, and you get to watch them all day long. And for me, that live in Brazil, and for the girls, it's not very common, actually not common at all, that you have like those merch places like you have in European festivals, that you just go to some place in the festival and there's like many stores with crazy merch going on. We absolutely don't have this in Brazil. You go to festivals and there are maybe two tiny stores, and it's not even very exciting. So we don't, it's such different experience for us that come from South America, and it's so big for us. So I of course it's okay that people don't think the same, but I cannot understand not liking festivals. There, it's so good. You spend the whole day there watching the bands that you like, meeting the people that you like and that you always admired, and meeting new people that you might work with in the future. And the drum kit is there, and there is a guy to help me. just help me put it on. I don't need to do all the work myself. There's usually much more time for me to set up. I don't need to set up in 15 minutes, and the catering is just there. You don't kind of have a time to eat and go to the hotel and go back, and it's just so it's so easy. I feel like you go there and you just spend a great day in the festival, and then you get to play too, and it's ginormous. It's just a win-win situation.
yeah.
Love venues, but festivals are quite an experience.
So yeah, it's kind of funny because like I've went to hundreds of concerts my whole life, and the one festival that I'm planning on going to, Maryland Death Fest, I hope to God it's gonna happen this year because I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
And
I wish I could go too.
I can't wait. Like it's gonna be so cool. There's so many good bands, and I can't even fathom like 150 bands playing in like 3 days. Like that's insane.
Yeah, exactly. I wish we could play there. I don't know if you fit the cast, but I wish so. I wish. Maryland Death Fest, if you're hearing, I would
Yeah.
very much like to go.
Pack your bags, let's go.
Yeah.
So the last thing is I like to do this every episode is, what advice could you give to someone who's trying to do what you do but has no idea how to do it?
First of all, you first need to know that you like what you're doing. You need to be absolutely certain that you like to do, like playing an instrument or being in a band or whatever is the thing that you're gonna attempt to do, because otherwise it's just not gonna last. It's hard overall. Like, not saying that playing an instrument is hard. Of course, it has its challenges, but if you practice, it's okay. But it's hard in the sense that to have a band and work full time with it, to go on tour and stuff like that. We stopped our lessons in university, how to say, our high education, maybe? I don't know. We stopped all our education for staying in the band, and we quit our previous work, and we basically mainly do not see our families or our boyfriends or whatever people we want to see during the entire year. Now during the pandemic, it's just really easy, but normally we would barely stay home or barely do anything else that wasn't related to the band. And even during the pandemic, we are always working with the band from home, answering emails and dealing with the store and dealing with all kinds of stuff that are related to the band. And if you don't like it, you're probably just gonna, at some point, you're gonna find this out, and it's just waste your time. I don't know. I would just say that make sure you try it for a good amount of time before you put all your efforts into leaving your work and leaving your education and stuff like that, because you might regret maybe in the future. So I don't know. I'm terrible with advices, by the way.
No, that was good. That was really good. I've had some funny advice where they're like, "Yeah, I have no advice at all."
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I tried to think of something, but I'm really bad with advices. I don't even know myself sometimes. I'm like, what am I doing?
No, my thing is like, okay, when I see people like kicking ass with music, and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, no way. Like your music is going places. People know about it, and people respect it. So you got this.
Thank you. I'm trying.
So the last thing is, I usually open up the table for anything you want to promote on your end. It could be something that is coming up, already happened, whatever. Merch.
Absolutely merch, I would say, because this year we do not have lots of stuff to release with Crypta, unfortunately. But we will release some stuff that we can't tell right now. So yeah, I think all I can promote right now is that if you're interested in knowing what my band is doing in the future releases, that people can follow our social medias, and it's how is that in English? Well, it's Crypta Def on Instagram, and Crypta Def on Facebook, and Crypta Official on YouTube. We are always releasing playthroughs and stuff like that, and small videos, so we can keep up with society. I don't know, keep up posting things.
Yeah, no, it's good. A lot of bands don't do that, and I remember seeing like multiple playthroughs. I'm like, this band is going like hard, and
yeah, we're trying to keep relevant, or at least make people see that we're working. I don't know, just to not disappear, like release an album and now we completely disappear till tours start again. So we're just releasing small videos of curiosity things or playthroughs. But yeah, it's all on our YouTube channel. And for merch, if you're from the US and Mexico, we have a store called AM Agencia Mexico.com and /Crypta. And from Europe, it's cryptashop.com, and Brazil, it's cryptashop.com.br.